the weekend all week, and we've made it. It's Friday, May 10th. This is The Play. I'm Dave Morris, and we're going to talk about some of the headlines you can find in the upcoming editions over the weekend of the Oklahoman and online at newsok.com. And joining me to tell us more about that is Nick Tragakis. Thanks so much for your time today.
Sure.
You know, one of the things we hear about is the list of unclaimed property owners. Like the state fair comes around, they're like, hey, be sure if you go out there, check your name on the list. Well, we have a story that Randy Ellis is working on. There's a notable name on the list.
There is, and usually you only hear about this during the state fair.
Right.
But it's come in the news here this week because it turns out that our Lieutenant Governor, Todd Lamb, his name is on the list. Our state auditor, Gary Jones, he says his name has been on the list. And so it's created a little bit of a controversy because some legislators down at the Capitol are questioning now, well, what's the point of this list if there are people on it who everyone knows and somehow we can't alert them or let them know they're on the list or get the property to them? Why are we even bothering with it?
I guess it's one of those things is you may not be able to track down a Dave Morris, but you should be able to track down the Lieutenant Governor, right?
And that's raised some questions, yeah. So Randy Ellis, one of our watchdog reporters, is digging into this issue, and we're going to have a story, of course, on News OK and in the Saturday newspaper.
One of the big headlines this week has been the continuing coverage of the Rebecca Bryan trial. The jury was seated, and we have updates on that as well.
Yeah, more testimony. The defense were able to present one of their witnesses today, and it was someone who was commenting on the outward sort of emotional reaction someone may have following a death. The thinking was on the defense side that they could have this witness come up and testify and say, well, you never know how people are going to react. The reason this is important is because a lot of witnesses already at trial have said that Rebecca Bryan was acting kind of strangely after her husband's death, not how you might expect a grieving wife to act. The prosecution flipped it around and said, well, would you expect someone to be laughing and talking about having affairs with other men and calling up all her friends after her husband died? And of course, the answer was no, that's very unusual behavior. So very interesting testimony yet again in what's proving to be a pretty interesting criminal case.
There has been some dramatics in that. And hey, one story I want to tell you about for coming up on Mother's Day weekend, which of course is Sunday, is written by our own Jenny Carlson.
We're still waging a battle daily.
A mother's fight for justice.
We won't give up until Michael's home. I won't give up ultimately until his name is cleared.
And a promise to share her son's story. In Sunday's Oklahoman and on newsok.com, Vicki Behenna's fight for a soldier and the justice system she believes in.
Yeah, normally you'll see Jenny and her writing grace the sports pages, but she's taken on a interesting profile, and it's about a woman named Vicki Behenna, who is a federal prosecutor here in Oklahoma City, but she's also the mother of Michael Behenna, who we've written about a lot. He's an Edmond soldier who was convicted of unpremeditated murder for shooting and killing an Iraqi detainee in the war zone. His case has been going on for many months now, several appeals. They're trying to get him out of military prison. And Vicki Behenna, his mother, has been spearheading that effort to try to free her son. And so Jenny sat down with her and has written a really nice in-depth piece to coincide with Mother's Day about a mother's quest to see her son set free.
Good stuff, some compelling reading right there. And of course, these other stories will be quite compelling as well as the Rebecca Bryan trial continues and the list of unclaimed property owners, which is kind of comical.
Check the list.
Check the list. All right, Nick, thanks so much for your time. Have a great weekend and happy Mother's Day to everyone out there as well. Have a great weekend, everyone.